Hi guys, Deb Acker here, back with another video. And the title of today's video is Why We Are Never Satisfied. So the Rolling Stones sang about it. I can't get no satisfaction. And I'm going to talk about it today. So for those of you guys who are new to my work and new to this series, I'm an intuitive coach and I work mainly with women to help them to heal their past, to heal their childhood patterns, specifically around abandonment and the abandonment that can show up when we have physically and or emotionally unavailable parents. And if you had unavailable parents, whether that was through divorce, through a loss that happened, through addiction, and or maybe just them working a lot of times what that pattern and what, them showing up in that way for us, what that ends up creating is us having this strong desire of wanting their attention, right? Wanting to be seen by them, wanting to be heard, wanting to be loved by them. And what ends up happening is we're never satisfied. No matter how much we get from them, we're never satisfied by the way that they show up because, again, there's usually a big gap missing between what we really want and the way that they are actually showing up. So first and foremost, notice if that feels true for you. But what ends up happening is that can set us up for a state of constantly striving, right? Of constantly wanting more, of constantly, really what ends up happening is we accept crumbs a lot of times. That can be a really big one in relationships, but it can be a big one in a lot of areas of our life. So we end up accepting crumbs and, we end up never feeling satisfied. So again, notice if that feels true for you. One of my teachers talked about 4 states of being. She talked about waiting, wanting, striving, and having, and I would add a state of being is being, right? That's even, I think even kind of even a higher state. Having was sort of the goal, so to speak, but I think being is even a higher state than having, right? Because having still has that texture of like, I want something, I need something to be satisfied in that moment. Whereas being is just like, I am being and I am just happy and content where I am. So first and foremost, notice what state of being you're in. Are you waiting for something to happen? Are you wanting something to happen in your life? Are you striving and trying to make it happen, which again will create an area of discontent, right? And or are you in a state of having, right? I'm having enough, right? I'm feeling full in my life. I'm feeling nourished. I'm feeling satisfied in my life. If you're watching this video, I'm imagining you're not feeling that way. So what stops us from being able to really be in that state of being, right? First of all, it's important to notice wherever you show up, what are the thoughts that are occurring for you, right? What thoughts are you having? Like, are you there? Are you present? Or are you thinking about the meeting that's going to happen or the fight that you had with your partner earlier in the day, right? Are you actually there and present? Or are you thinking about something else? So first and foremost, it's important to notice your thoughts. As part of that though, do you have an agenda? When you're in that meeting, right? Do you have an agenda that's going on, right? Are you going, I need to make this sale, for instance. I used to be in sales and medical sales. So I know that one quite well, but just notice, right? It's like, do I have an agenda that's playing out? The other thing that's important to note, and I have tons of videos on these, including my video on how to heal yourself, is one of the biggest things that takes us out of presence is our patterns. So every single pattern that we have from childhood, a lot of times then, it puts us in the past. So something happens in our present day, but because we have the trigger from it still stored in our body from our childhood, it brings us back to our past and or it brings us to the future. But a lot of times we are not in the present. And the more we heal ourselves, the more we heal those patterns, the more we peel those patterns away, the more present we get, the more we're able to be where we are, right? So that's also super important to know. The other piece of this, and it's similar to the striving piece, but it's actually quite different as well, is masculine energy. So, part of how this can play up is when we're kids, when we were kids growing up, right? What, a lot of times what happened, when we were growing up is we became overachievers. Part of that state of being seen to be seen, right? We were, overachievers. So again, notice if that feels true for you. But again, right there, that doing, that making things happening, even forcing, a lot of times puts us in masculine energy. And whether you are in a masculine or feminine body, that, noticing, okay, Am I in masculine energy right now, or I'm in feminine energy? And feminine energy is more of that being energy, right? It is more of that calm energy. It is more of that open and that relaxed energy. So how do we move into feminine energy? Well, one of the ways, there's so many ways we can do this, but one simple way is to recognize our masculine lives in our upper half of our body and our feminine lives in the lower part of our body. So just by simply bringing breath into your hips, bringing breath into your legs, that can start to move you more into your feminine energy, whether you're in a masculine or feminine body. So that's so super important. And just the last piece of this is like, can you get present with your environment, right? Can you get satisfied with everything that you have and really start to bring gratitude and, bring that gratefulness into really feeling satisfied? And again, just having that presence of like, okay, I'm driving right now, but there's trees, to my left, right? Or I'm listening to this amazing song, right? And I'm really getting into that song. So, that's another way to really look at it. But just it's like you could be sitting in your house and just getting present with like, oh my God, this blanket is so soft, right? Or this food is so delicious, right? And again, just creating and adding some mindfulness to your practice as well can help you to start to be more satisfied with your environment. So that is today's video. If you are enjoying this series, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It is always my goal for this channel to bring you new awarenesses, new practices, new concepts, and new tools that are going to serve you and support you on your journey to healing your abandonment, but also on your journey to truth and love and light and feeling amazing in your world, no matter what's happening in the outer world. And if you want to dive deep, there's a ton of resources below on how I can support you. So until next time, again, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.